Hey friends, and welcome to another episode of Honoring My Grandfather. If this is your first time here, I just want to personally welcome you to the HomeGrown Ministries YouTube channel. I'm DJ, and on this channel I strive to provide you with biblical wisdom and encouragement to strengthen your walk of faith. This series is dedicated to my grandfather who passed away in January of 2019. During this year, I've been going through his Bible and just talking about different verses that he pointed out, and I'll tell you what, this has been really difficult because these are not verses that I necessarily would have picked out. These are verses that he picked out. So today's verse is an end times verse. And if you know anything about me, you know that I typically don't talk about the end times because I haven't studied it enough and I don't know enough about it. So take everything I say today with a grain of salt. And if you think I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments below in love so that I may have a better understanding if I am wrong. Also, if you do want to listen to someone who knows what they're talking about and you are interested in the end times, please take some time to go listen to Brandon Garcia from A&P Home Church Ministry. I'll put a link to his channel in the description below so it's easy for you to find him. He really knows what he's talking about, and I guarantee you if I say something wrong, he will correct me. Looking at you, Brandon. So here goes nothing. All right, so today's verse comes from Matthew chapter 24, verse 7. Here is my grandfather's note, if my camera would focus. There you go. I just like to show you his handwriting because I think it honors him. So the context of this verse is that Jesus' disciples come to him and ask him about the signs that they'll be able to look at to determine the end of the age. And so within this section, Jesus says this in verse 7. It says, "Nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All these are the beginning of birth pains." I gave you verse 8 as well because I couldn't stop reading for some reason. And I think it's important for context. But so that verse is very interesting. And of all the things Jesus said, why did my grandfather pick that verse? The verse about there being wars and rumors of wars and famines and earthquakes. Why that verse? And the only thing that I can think of, and again, I don't know because I never got the opportunity to ask him. And one day I will ask him when I'm reunited with him in heaven. But the only thing I can think of is that he lived a really long time. He lived from 1932 to 2019. And during the course of his life, he would have witnessed tons of wars and rumors of wars. I want to give you a list of some of the wars that America was involved in during his lifetime. You have World War II. He also then served in the Korean War. Then you have the Lebanon crisis. You've got the Bay of Pigs invasion. You have the war in Vietnam. You have the Cambodian Civil War. You have Grenada. You've got the Gulf War and the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, just to name a few. Now those are just wars that even America was involved in. There were tons of world wars or wars happening in the world during the time that America wasn't involved in. And my grandfather would have heard about these as well through the news. And when you look at that verse, in my opinion, you are seeing Jesus giving us a sign of the birth pains, which means these things are going to happen before the tribulation, before Christians are taken to be with the Lord. And I'll tell you what, if that's just the birth pains, that means the tribulation is going to be so much worse for those who remain. And that should make you bold as a Christian to reach out to those whom you love that you know do not currently believe. Because I'll tell you what right now, if the tribulation is far worse than the world in which we currently live, which it will be, I wouldn't wish that on anyone. And we're not even talking about eternal damnation if they end up continuing to not believe after the tribulation. We're just talking about how difficult the tribulation will be for anyone who has to live through it. And I don't want anyone to experience that, let alone eternal damnation. So that, as a Christian, should make me boldly proclaim the truth, even if it makes me look crazy to my friends and family. Because the truth is that your loved ones, your friends, your family members, even the people that you don't know who are unsaved, are currently standing on a highway, and a Mack truck is barreling down the road at them that they do not see. And we are called as Christians to do everything in our power to convince them to get off the road, sometimes up to and including tackling them if we have to. So friends, have this verse make you a bold ambassador for your faith, so that you may reach those who are unsaved, so that they don't have to deal with living through the tribulation if it comes during our lifetime, or eternal damnation as well. Now, I tell you all the time that I don't know enough about the end times, but here are some things that if you're new to Christianity, you do need to know. The first thing is that Jesus did come and live on this earth, died, resurrected, and because of that, we can be redeemed with God and live again with Him. The second thing is that Jesus will come again. That's something that we all as Christians accept. And the third thing is that when Jesus comes, He will judge the living and the dead. Now, that is the three things that I would argue about the end times that we all have to agree upon. All the other items are up for debate, and Christians who are way smarter than me debate this stuff all the time. And my opinion on that really doesn't matter. Like I said, go listen to somebody else. But at the end of the day, when we look at the end times, when we look at even talking about eternity with God, life doesn't end at death for the believer or the non-believer. So for all those people who you love and care about, please let this verse encourage you to be emboldened to reach them. Because at the end of the day, whether we meet face to face with the Lord because of the end of our life or because of the end times, we will still be judged. And the only way to be redeemed with God is not anything you can do. It's not about your good works or your personal righteousness. It's about accepting what Jesus has done for you. We must proclaim that to the whole world. Now again, if I said something today that you disagree with, Brandon, I'm looking at you. Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Also, Christian friends, please continue to be the salt to the earth, be the light to the world. Go encourage somebody else today, because the world desperately, desperately needs encouragement, especially in the world in which we live. And again, it's only going to get worse, as we are told time and time again in the Bible. So please be an encouragement to others and lead them to the truth that is Jesus Christ. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!